All right, now that the intro is over, all those who just came for the intro can leave so that we can have a serious conversation. Okay.
Okay, bye.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. I hope everybody's having a fantastic little day or a big day. We never know. It could be a very big day for you. It could be a very little day. We don't know. We do not know. Big day. So, how is everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a fantastic time. David, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's up?
I already said what's up.
How's it going?
Oh yeah, good.
Hope you're having a wonderful day. Little day, big day.
That's right. So,
Oh man,
what?
you want something lighthearted to start off the show?
We don't do lighthearted stuff here.
So, I warned Malik not to annoy my son because he's got a weird brain. Anyway, he's writing an entire musical, it's basically parody songs musical about Muhammad and the night of Al-Zut and what led up to it and stuff. Anyway, for the actual scene where Muhammad's getting banged by the men of Al-Zut. Yeah, don't want to like be too graphic, so it's gonna be showing Muhammad and then guys like dancing behind him and stuff like that. But for that, he wants a parody of the song "I Will Survive," right? That old song, and I will survive, right? So he's he's lasting. It's Muhammad singing that he will survive through the night of Al-Zut, right? But anyway, my goofball son noticed that the background music, the whole instrumental in the background sounds very, very similar to the Rocky theme song, which I never noticed until he was pointing it out. And I was like, that sounds almost exactly like I was like, I want to go look it up and see if it's the same composer or something, because it sounds like very, very similar, all the instruments and stuff. Anyway, so he wants to make it like a Rocky movie where Rocky keeps getting knocked down, but he keeps like getting back up and he's getting up in the Zoot position, right? So it's Muhammad who's like, keeps getting beaten down, but he keeps getting back up. He wants Abdullah ibn Masud as the ring girl, but he stays within the ring. Anyway, as the ring girl, and he's holding up, round 15, round 18, round 22, and stuff like that, all the way up to 30, as Muhammad has to keep forcing himself up. And then he's there struggling for the last one, and he completes it, and then it's the victorious Rocky theme song, and he wants it like at the end of. Not at the end of Rocky 1, not the training montage of Rocky 1, but of Rocky 2. Because Rocky 2, he was the hero of Philadelphia because he'd done so well against Apollo Creed in the first one, so he's the hero. Anyway, he trains, he runs through the city and stuff. He gets up to the top, and all the kids in the city and everyone rather around them. They're all cheering for him as he's got his hands up in the air, victorious and stuff like that. It's going to be Muhammad at the end of the Al-Zut, but he's sitting there playing the music. I was like, oh my goodness, this all fits really, really well. But anyway. It's going to be Al-Zut the musical or whatever he's going to call it. But anyway, got to get it done.
It's funny. I recommended a few songs to him the other day, and then he responded to me with another recommendation. I was recommending to him stuff like. Anyway, I'll keep this a secret between us. Recommended different songs to him.
Jack Ray said it's an Al-Zutical.
Hey, David, did you see the thumbnail?
Oh, yeah. Citizen Vigilante is such a dumb name. Oh, man.
Well, I was thinking of making a thumbnail that is here. I thought this looked beautiful.
Why did you put yourself there, man?
I thought it would be funny with you.
It was the dude playing his Army Hammer. Guys, so we started talking about Army Hammer. I had no idea that we were talking about this movie the other day because I wasn't, and I only noticed when Elon Musk shared the movie, and I was like, what? And I click on it. What's Elon sharing? And is that Army Hammer, the cannibal? We were just talking about him yesterday. Then I messaged AP, hey, Elon Musk shared this movie called Citizen Vigilante, and he's like, I know, we were just talking about that. And I'm like, oh, I thought we were just talking about Army Hammer. Anyway,
that was the whole point why we started talking about it.
So I was like, oh, hey, maybe I should share this too. And I scroll through it, and there's like this. I scrolled through it to make sure to see how inappropriate It is, and there's like this gratuitous scene where he goes with a prostitute, and anyway, they're like, okay, I'm not gonna share that. But anyway, oh my goodness, this is right after like everyone starts blaming Elon for the Edinburgh attack because he shared so much about the grooming gang scandal, and therefore it's his fault that this guy went out and stabbed a couple of people, and they're all blaming him. And right as they're in the middle of blaming him, he posts the entire movie. He posts the entire movie about this guy going around massacring Muslim rapists and stuff. And I'm like, oh my, that's what, dude. Get $1 trillion. People just can't tell you what to do anymore, man. I'm telling you, man. People,
I know.
That's called, back in the day, that's called FU money, where you get so much money, you can't tell someone anything because there's nothing you could do. There's nothing you could do. And Elon is, I mean, world's first trillionaire, and they're trying to shame him into stuff. And he's just like, what? You going to run your mouth at me? I'll post this entire movie about massacring people. Oh, my goodness, dude.
What about this one here? Citizen Woody Lante.
What the heck is Woody Lante?
I don't know. But anyway, so
what's the Lante mean? What is that?
It's because of vigilante. So
I get it.
Took you a long time.
I don't think other people are going to get it because I didn't get it.
Okay. No, yeah, I saw that too. So I saw first on Twitter, it popped up that that this movie was done, and it is done by a very, very notorious guy. For those who are familiar with video game adaptations of movies, they know that this guy, the director, Uwe Boll, who is a German guy,
hey, looks just like me,
made several other movies before that are just full of gratuitous violence and all kinds of things, and usually not very high quality movies, usually low budget movies that someone get lots of recognition because of the video game industry and all that. So I saw that he made a movie in which this famous or infamous American actor plays an American guy who goes to Europe, who starts going after rapists and illegal immigrants and robbers and all that.
People are sharing the link.
And murderers.
Hey, someone says Citizen Sagara.
The thing is, as soon as I saw that, and as soon as I saw that people are outraged about it, and that Germany actually practically banned it by refusing to give it a rating, I thought, oh, I have to check this out. So I went on Amazon Prime, and I saw that it was there. Quickly rented the movie, watched it immediately, and as I was watching it, I thought, what the hell am I watching?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I watched a couple of clips. I didn't even watch the full massacre at the end. I just kind of scrolled to a few parts and stuff like that. It was like, what's all the fun? What are people actually flipping out about? So then I saw the massacring the rapists and the entire family scene. But I was like, I didn't know what it was. And I thought like Elon made the movie or something. Like he's like, oh man, he's got trillions of dollars. And he's like, oh, I'll just make a bunch of movies on stuff.
It is basically a movie about David Wood, just different. But yeah, so the movie is kind of slow. It's half of the movie is just spent following people around while they're walking or thinking or riding in a car, which is kind of a weird thing to do. And
hang on, Al 2571 says, does the Army Hammer character eat everybody at the end? That's the other thing. I was like, because it's like it seems low budget and stuff, and I was like, that makes sense. Army Hammer's kind of blacklisted because of the whole like women saying he wants to like eat body parts and stuff like that. One girl said he wanted to have one of her ribs removed so he can eat the meat off it or something, like really creepy stuff. So anyway, he got like kind of blacklisted, and then I'm guessing he came cheap for this one. But it's like, dude, if you thought this was going to get you back into the movie game, I'm not sure it is. Because now you'd have to, I mean, unless you're just going total indie movies like this, the alternative would be like, were you trying to get back into Hollywood there? Because they kind of frown upon the whole massacring Muslim immigrants thing.
My problem is that while the movie seems to be one that goes into a a right direction in a way. The movie overall is not very good. Plus, it is also so that the director himself, I think he's an atheist who just dislikes religion and all and stuff like that. So, and the movie has just stuff in it that is where I was sitting. I have seen lots of weird, lots of messed up movies and all that. But with this movie, I just started feeling uncomfortable at some point because it's like out of nowhere, the guy goes and picks out a prostitute among many, and you spent 5 minutes just watching this weird scene where all the prostitutes look into the camera. Then he picks out one, then he has sex with her, and we have to watch all of that. Then he suddenly ends up talking about the mold on the ceiling, and then it turns out that he owns the whole building where the business is being run. And it's like, oh, okay. It doesn't seem like the guy has these great concerns about establishing or protecting the proper values of a society. So this is clearly not really driven by this concern for having, these Western values or traditional values or religious values or whatever it is. It is just kind of raging against the whole uncontrolled immigration and immigrant crime that is going on. So because of that, when I saw that it was being shared and so that the director shared it for free for 2 days on Twitter, and that Elon Musk also shared it, I saw that and I thought I can't really recommend this, so I didn't want to share it. But the last 15 minutes of the movie are what's good about the movie. That's it.
I also thought it was funny that Elon shared it, and it's about some rich guy going around massacring some, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like I don't know, Elon's fantasy. Like, hey, I gotta be a rich guy going around massacring everybody.
So the director said he needed a crazy guy to do crazy things. Well, I get that point. I mean, that's also what I understood from it. The guy is not depicted as a hero. He's not depicted as a wonderful guy. But I mean, we could have gotten the whole point of that without watching him going into this brothel in some European country, which is unspecified. Then just these prostitutes just waving into the camera and showing off their bodies for like 5 minutes straight, and then him going in and having like elaborate sex with one of them. I mean, we didn't really have to see all of that, right? It's like there's really no point to it at all. I get that the guy is crazy and sick, but what's the point of that scene? There's no point to it at all.
Yeah, so I mean, it is interesting though that it's not this, oh, I'm going to defend Western values type movie. It's more like guy who's really fed up with certain things, and he decides he's not taking it anymore or something like that.
As a matter of fact, I think I want to play a little part of the movie in hopes that this will keep up the stream and not get it banned or get taken down.
Oh, it's getting taken down.
I mean, taken down for issues like copyright stuff. I don't think for any other stuff at all. But I think this is the most important scene, which I think delivers the point of the movie quite well. So I want to check that out here for a second. But
I'm sitting here wondering who they got to act these roles. Right?
I know
on the Muslim Family, right? Like, are these actual Muslims or secular Muslims or atheists or just anyone who's willing to act or something? I don't know.
It could be that they are rapists who were forced
I want to look these people up.
At gunpoint to play out this.
Yeah, they could have been. We will kill you if you want to stay in our country. You have to be in this movie about us massacring you.
Oh, wait a minute. I just looked them up. They're actually actors. Never mind. Okay.
That dude right there, I saw this clip. He did some good acting there. Matter of fact, they all did a good job acting here.
Oh boy.
What?
I'm looking up the actors here. This is very funny. Let's see. Let me have a look at this here. The actors here are
Uwe Boll. You're saying that's a German dude? Uwe?
Yeah, Uwe Boll.
Is that a common name? Is Uwe a common name?
No, it's a very outdated old name.
How about Udo?
Udo is also outdated and old.
Yeah, back in I don't see, you've never been in German class because you grew up speaking German, but when you take German in elementary school and later and so on, they make you take a German name, and I'd always go with Dieter, right? I'd always go with Dieter.
Dieter.
And I did that because I saw some documentary when I was little about this serial killer or something like this, and they asked him what his name was, and he goes, Dieter Rommel. When he wasn't, he was an American dude, right? But he called himself Dieter Rommel. So it's German class, and they give you a list of names, and I'll go, oh, Dieter. I've heard that one before. So I went with Dieter, and for like the next 5 German classes, I was always Dieter, and then
Dieter.
Yeah, and then ninth grade, they were going down the rows, and someone else picked Dieter before I got it, and then so I had to get Udo. Like it was like everyone took all the good names, and I was stuck with Udo.
I'm looking at the at this guy Faris Mungi. He's the father here in that place, in that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Muqit Abdul Hamid. This guy's Egyptian. This guy is something I don't know where from actually, but he lives in France. This one here, I think she's the sister in the role, and the funny thing is that she's Israeli. They found actual Middle Eastern people, actual Arabic-speaking people, aside from her, probably, maybe her too. I don't know. Very, very interesting, man. Very interesting stuff. These guys actually agreed to be in this scene. Anyway, let's watch it for a second here.
Can't hear anything, man. It's the quietest I've ever seen anything in my entire life. Are you playing it? Are you deliberately playing it with no sound?
Oh. Never mind.
We did that. We thought she
there we go.
did it.
You thought that she wanted you to grab her and pull her into a bush in the quiet part of the park. But she wanted you to put your hand over her mouth while your 7 friends took turns raping her. She had to crawl out of those bushes on her hands and knees. And now she lives every single day afraid of what you and your friends might do since you were acquitted. It was very good work by your attorney, by the way, painting them as the victim. What was it? Traumatic integration?
We're all getting mental help now and support.
Hey,
it would be better.
I would pause this to add commentary after every minute or so to reduce your chances of getting a copyright thing.
It is only 2 minutes long, man.
Okay, then stop it every 30 seconds.
Stop it.
I promise that.
It's the right answer.
It just gets better from here. So he says we're going to get help. We're going to get therapy.
Oh, hang on.
What?
Oh
what,
my
man?
goodness!
We're watching a movie, man.
Do
what?
you know what this is? This is called Citizen Vigilante. Do you know what its real name is?
What?
It's called The Dark Knight, but spelled just like The Dark Knight as in Batman.
That was I know that. But
I'm just saying that's. But I was like, oh, he's like a Bruce Wayne guy. He's like a Bruce Wayne character because he's rich and he goes around and but he don't, unlike Batman, he goes around killing people and stuff like that. But they were actually trying to make this guy a Batman type figure, but who goes around killing people.
Oh yeah. So the movie's name is Citizen Vigilante now, but the working name of it was The Dark Knight.
Yep. And, there's already a movie called The Dark Knight. Turns out.
But the Warner Brothers company sent cease and desist letters and threatened to sue these guys unless they change the name of the movie. Whereafter they decided, all right, man, let's change it. We've had enough. The thing is also that this final scene where he confronts this family and asks them about the rape is actually based on a real incident which took place in Germany in 2016 in Hamburg, where such a thing did happen, and the perpetrators walked free for different reasons. So this is not just a fantasy. This is not just made up. The scene here is actually based on a real event. It is actually based on an actual rape and injustice that took place. The funny thing also in the movie is that he, before he does this, he finds the judge who let these guys go, and he kills the judge too. He does that too in the movie. And he kills the judge in a very brutal way.
I couldn't find anything about what the kid believes.
The only problem is that on your social media, since the event, I have not seen any regret or empathy. In fact, I think you said that she deserved to be raped.
What I mean is that they dress wrong and just make boys horny with their mini skirts. They show their legs and breasts.
You wrote that she deserved it.
I will delete it.
Are these the values you're teaching your children?
This is a very real thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
When I've heard this so many times now, this is a very, very real thing. They will say that, and even their women, even the women that come from that background, will come out and say, "Well, the girls, they should just, not dress like provocatively, then nothing will happen to them. If you go out like that, you're just asking for it. If you talk to men, if you talk to boys, you're just asking for it. You probably deserved it."
Yeah, Tommy Robinson pointed out in the past, he said, in some of these, in some of the areas with the rape gangs, that if you add up all the people, all the Muslims who we know were taking part in the rape gangs and stuff, he points out, like in some areas, it's like 1 out of 8 Pakistani Muslims. And he points out, like, if it's 1 out of 8 in your area, that means everyone knows what's going on, right? You guys are like bringing these 11 and 12-year-old white girls around all over the place and bringing them. Everyone knows what's going on. And no one was speaking out about it, which means everyone is kind of okay with it. And they still have that part of their culture where you never go against your own group. And you certainly never side against Muslims in a situation and so on. So
The funny thing is, I just checked out this guy's Instagram account, and he seems to be quite happy with it.
who? Uwe Boll or this guy?
The actor on the screen.
Faris Mungi is his name.
I know, because I have it right here.
Oh.
Faris Mungi, he seems to be quite happy about
Hey,
it.
that's him with here's me with
He even posted
Army
this
Hammer.
here. You are trending the world now. Trending the world now. Here's Elon Musk. He seems to be quite happy about the situation. And this guy's Egyptian, by the way. He's not a white racist. He's Egyptian.
Yeah, guys, you can't call these guys white nationalists or white supremacists or anything.
The thing is also,
in fact, if you disagree with this movie at all, you hate brown people.
The thing is also with stuff like this, like I wonder sometimes if you are an actor, especially if you're not an actor who is not very well known, and you have like 1 or 2 acts, and this is one of the acts, one of the roles that you make yourself known for. I wonder how that feels for the person who is doing the acting. It's like he's playing a complete scumbag here, that people really hate based on real issues. So that must be a weird choice to make. It must feel strange.
You'd have to be banking on other people are going to want similar movies in the future.
Yeah. Too Many Mary says, I approve of executing unjust judges. LOL. That's very, very rude. It's very racist against unjust judges.
I teach him the values from...
Well, if any judges get massacred, we're going to want to know where Too Many Marys was.
That's true. Let's listen to this one.
She deserved it.
I will delete it.
Are these the values you're teaching your children?
I teach him the values from Quran and these values from our family.
Well, if these are your values, that women in America and Europe deserve to be raped because of a dress code, why did you come here?
You know that we have several...
They put this in the movie. If these are your values, why did you come here? Despite the fact that the movie is kind of trash in a way, this made me very, very happy to see, man. It made me very, very happy to see this.
war in our country, and we have a dangerous life. That's why we are here. And I think you know that.
Do you know what I think?
Why?
I don't think it was the good ones that got out of your country. I think it was the bad ones. And I think you brought with you your archaic value system.
There you go. Now, I don't know if I should play the rest of what's happening here.
Oh, everyone getting massacred?
Yes. Right after this.
Hey, if you
What?
play it, turn the sound off, because we've had live stream shut down. Now it's a policy now that you can't be shooting a gun during a live stream, like from a gun like at a gun ranch or anything like that.
I was going to do that just now.
Yeah. And so, but the AI can't tell the difference between a gunshot in a movie and a gunshot on a gun range and stuff like that. So it just takes your live stream down. Then you have to fight for 5 days to get it back.
Wait, I know that there's a gun policy. There's a no gun policy. If you show a gun during a live stream, then they take it on the live stream. What about swords?
No, I'm pretty sure you can show swords and stuff. And yeah, you can't show a gun during a live stream. You can show a gun. You can have an entire gun channel, just not live. It's because they don't want people live streaming where they go into a massacre or something like that, where they go kill people and then they're live streaming it or something like that. So the AI is programmed to take down stuff that's live and has gunshots in it.
Anyway, what happens next in the movie is that he ends up inviting these the guys who were in on the rape, who also did the raping, and then he just kills every single one of them, and then he also kills the entire family, which is very funny, as you can see here on your screen. He just kills them all. Well, I don't know why he does that. All they did is rape and leave behind a 14-year-old girl.
He's like they should have just paid for prostitutes like I do.
Yeah. Anyway, that's that. So I do still. So despite the fact that it promotes, or that it kind of includes stuff that I don't really want to promote, I do feel that I am happy that the movie exists. Let's say that.
I like the idea that there are people in positions of power and influence who can say, screw all of you who think you can control everyone and manipulate people into being silent about all this stuff. I like that part.
This is very funny here. In February 2026, Quiver Distribution acquired the film rights to Citizen Vigilante, which was released on June 19th, 2026. According to Ball, the film was denied an age certification in Germany for promoting vigilantism, effectively banning it from wide distribution.
And then Elon shares it.
The film has not been put on the index, making it legal to own or sell to adults. In response, Ball publicly argued that the board used youth protection as a pretext to suppress the film due to its focus on migration-linked crime in Europe. In an interview with the Daily Telegraph, Ball stated, "I hired a lawyer to complain about it, but we lost in a 6-2 vote, as I was told that the film was inciting violence against migrants." Which is very funny, because the film doesn't actually incite violence against migrants. It incites violence against criminal people, including migrants and non-migrants. In the movie, he doesn't just hurt migrants. I mean, it is primarily about migrants, and it also points out that that immigration. And by the way, to point one thing out, both legal and illegal, so or let's say both illegal and illegal immigration. The movie points out that both illegal and legal immigration has caused so much trouble and so much crime in Europe. But it also talks about, the movie also includes justice against non-migrant criminals. However, they have to somehow say, because the movie points out that there is a very, very high amount of migrant violence and rape and all that, because the movie does that, they have to say this incites violence against migrants. Apparently, these guys are not at all concerned about the violence that it incites against criminal non-migrants, only against criminal migrants. And I guess they're also suggesting here that any incitement or any opposition or any talk about criminal migrants automatically means it is against migrants in general. I guess they're trying to tell us that all migrants are bad. That's what they're trying to tell us. The film was released on X on June 25th for 48 hours and was reposted by Elon Musk. It has been suggested that efforts to ban the film have had the opposite effect, boosting its reach. There you go. There you go. It was a very stupid decision. A very, very stupid decision. Variety reported that the film was inspired by a notorious case in Hamburg in 2016 when a group of teenagers gang raped a 14-year-old girl and left her for dead, only for the perpetrators to walk free with suspended sentences. This happens in Europe, man. This happens in Germany. Stuff like this is only going to get more and more and more. It's only going to get bigger and bigger. People are going to be increasingly more against all the crime that European governments and leaders are allowing to happen. No amount of suppression is going to make this go away. The reckoning will come. Slow mode is literal genocide. Kosin Kosan said the chat is on slow mode and the hosts are a little tardy, but somehow Dawa is still dumber. That is true. Jim Morrison says David Wood is sound as oak and AP is a Turkish delight. This is true. Jack Ray, cool Mike Winger thumbnail.
Hang on.
What?
So Libs of TikTok posted, Citizen Vigilante has now surpassed the Michael movie and is number 2 on Apple TV. Germany banned it, and now the richest person in the world shared it, and it's shattering records. Elon quote tweeted it and said, Citizen Vigilante 2 will be even better.
Wait, he said that?
He said Citizen Vigilante 2 will be even better.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. Okay, nice. So I guess Army Hammer's got his own series now.
Of course, he could be saying that as a hopeful thing or as a joke, or he could be just in touch with the.
No, he could be totally joking. He could say, okay, now I helped it blow up, so the guy's gonna make another one, or he could just say, hey, I'm gonna make sure this guy makes another one of these and stuff, and that he'll have the financial backing, and I'll quadruple his budget so he can make it better, and therefore Elon can say that he's going to make it better. You know what would have been funny though? They should have had Army Hammer just like take a bite out of someone or something like that.
David is obsessed with cannibalism.
No, I'm just saying. Either you're an actual cannibal or people were making that crap up about you. If you're going to insist people are making up, then you have to mock them by being a cannibal.
Look, I joke about cannibalism all the time, but this is going too far even for me. David Wood, 3:33 a.m. post. Brother, get some rest. God bless.
No.
Did you post at night?
3:33.
Have a look at Muslim lesbians versus Ali Dawa from Bliss of Jihad. He talking about irony of Ali Dawa due to his relationship, Muhammad Hijab and their hotel wives. What? Muslim lesbians?
Yeah, I did see a back and forth between two Muslim lesbians, and they were posting something on TikTok or something, but I saw Ali Dawa responding to them and flipping out about them. But Bliss of Jihad.
Muslim lesbians. I'm really curious now.
He's like, ooh, let me go check out this Muslim lesbians OnlyFans page.
Bliss of Jihad. Well, the funny thing is, when I was in Turkey, when I had long left Islam behind with very, very bad feelings, and I became an atheist, I was working at this company, and at some point, some guy joined the company and he started working with me, and I was supposed to train him. From the day he arrived, it was very, very clear that the guy is gay. From the way he talks, the way he walks, and all that. But I was so confused after a while, because as I kept talking to him, I realized that the guy is also very conservative and traditionalist and respects Islamic values and all that. I didn't say anything about it to him, but I always thought, dude, what is going on here? I wanted to give him a speech at some point of like, do you realize that the values and that the religion that you're promoting basically preach that you should be killed? I really do not understand. I was just thinking about that earlier today, actually, and then we have now Muslim lesbians here. Very, very strange, man. Kit Kat number 1 Woody. I'm late, but I hope you two are doing well. We are doing very well. Thank you. I've been asking Muslims online how many times did their moms perform muta before they were born. So far, no one has answered my question. Why are you asking people such a question? Are you Sam Shamoon?
That's a Sam thing. Hey, check out Elon's repost that I'm sending you right now. Guy's nuts, man.
What did he post?
He doesn't care, man. He just doesn't care. Everyone flips out about everything he does. So Elon shared this, but how girls sleep like this, how boys sleep. They don't. They're watching Citizen Vigilante. It's got freaking army everywhere. This is with everyone on the internet and like Mehdi Hassan and everyone just flipping out about this dude, and he does it.
He's probably thinking about other girls.
He's thinking about being Citizen Vigilante. Oh, man. Oh boy. Here's the guy pitching it. He goes, hang on.
Yeah. I don't want to show that now. You see, these sick bastards, sons of Satan, are even copying my thumbnails. As it has been foretold, everything around David Wood will fail, especially Islam. Wait, Sammy, here's my obligatory pray for PayPal.
You got to pray for PayPal, man.
You see, these sick bastards, son of Satan, are even copying my thumbnails. Thank you for that super chat, though. Non-playable character. AP, the way you spoke about David Wood and the other stream made me tear up. That's pretty weak. As a man, you should never cry. Men never cry.
Oh, AP's making everybody cry.
I'm making everybody cry. I cry all night. But hey, I appreciate that. It was nothing but the truth. Raciel. So after getting absolutely dog walked by me, his best next move was to challenge my sensei. God Logic said this in comment. Can we watch Sam vs. Muslim? I did see that Sam is Wait. I'm getting absolute dog walked by me. His best
Sam debated that Dr. Nasser guy.
Yeah. I saw that. I just didn't want to watch it because I don't want to watch anything from Sam.
Yeah, that's me nowadays.
Even if he does well,
which he will,
something that we agree on, good for him. Good for him. It's like promoting an absolutely evil scumbag. Like, I don't know, Satan does something good for some reason. And you're like, oh yeah, let me see how he did.
Yeah, someone in the chat earlier posted Sam was on his best manners, which means he can be, which means he chooses not to be when he's by himself on the show.
Yeah. Joe Liver says, apparently there is a 3-hour debate with Scam Shimon versus Dr. Nasser on the channel The Way with Brian Fabula, most likely a show.
No, guys, no. When Sam's it's like waves. If people are basically condemning him for all sorts of bad behavior and stuff like this, he'll look at this as an opportunity to win a bunch of new followers and be on his guest. It doesn't last. It was like when he was on PBD and he got that new burst of popularity, but then his views fell back down to levels below what they were before that, because any new people who start going to check him out and watch his shows, they're generally repulsed by talking to 7-year-olds and calling their mothers whores and stuff like that.
Yeah. Brian DeVilla, he also, I don't know, he invited me to talk to Sam, and I just said no. He invited David to apparently talk to Sam.
Which I don't recall, but
yeah. But yeah, happy to get together for other things, just not about him. Shaman debated the doctor. God Logic debated about Islamic dilemma, annoying that he's normal in public, insane when he's home. That doctor was so bad, it was embarrassing. Yeah, the doctor seems to be doing terribly, as we have seen. So good for Scam. The UK needs Judge Dredd 2012. What is
that? Was just Dredd, but that was. I've never seen the whole movie. I've just seen a bunch of YouTube clips, but that seems like top 3 action movies of all time, man. And it's something I will never forgive people for not watching that movie, because they could have had three or 4 of those. Instead, people didn't watch it, and therefore they didn't make a sequel.
Well, nobody wants to watch cartoons.
Although it developed a cult following, and I hear they're thinking about making another one, even though it's like 1,000 years later.
If I wanted to watch kids' movies, I would be a kid. Mushy Season says, well, you guys are similar to the old guys from the Muppet Show now. Cynical truth speakers. Who's cynical? Who's cynical?
You don't even know the old guys from the Muppet Show, do you?
No, I don't.
Those guys are hilarious. They were super old. They were super old rich guys.
Then why don't I know about them if they're so hilarious?
Look up old guys from Muppet Show and you'll get a big idea.
No. Dr. Nelson, like all Muslims, got the ID wrong. Nice. Islamic dilemma wrong. Go, Elon. Ottoman Turkeys can't be trusted. This is good. Praying for PayPal. David, the Mo ride back from the desert encounter could have parody of Hootie and the Blowfish. Let her cry. Let him cry. I don't know what any of these things mean.
And just let him cry. Let the tears fall down like rain. Yep.
All right. Do you want to have a watch of, do you want to look at the Piers Morgan and Gad Saad?
Well, that's what you said we were going to do. And here we are an hour into it and still waiting.
It's only 43 minutes. Let's have a look at this.
Yeah.
I'm really curious.
I haven't seen this, but I heard that Gad said at some point says, was Tommy right or wrong about the grooming gangs? Because Pierce is one of the main guys opposing Tommy for years. So, hey, was Tommy right or wrong?
Let's see. Why is it quiet?
It's always good to have no sound when you review videos. That way you can just like look at the background and stuff.
Behavioral scientist and scholar at the University of Mississippi. Gad, welcome back to Uncensored.
Thank you so much for having me, Pierce.
Suicidal empathy, just in simple terms, just lay out what you think the issue is here and why it's such a big problem.
Well, look in a mirror, Pierce.
Empathy is a wonderful virtue to possess. We are a social species. So for you and I, Pierce, to have a meaningful conversation, I need to put myself in your mind and vice versa. That's called cognitive empathy or theory of mind. So certainly as an evolutionary psychologist, I'm not arguing that empathy is a bad thing. But like Aristotle explained to us several thousand years ago,
don't go to extremes.
Too little of something is not good. Too much of something is not good. And
this
much of life is
Sam is a hater of Christians and everyone
about
else.
finding that sweet spot. That exactly applies to empathy. If I have no empathy, I'm likely to be a psychopath. If I have...
Hey, that's not
Hey, what the heck, man?
He's talking trash about you, man.
Psychopath D Wood over here catching strays, man. I didn't say anything. Catching strays.
Too much empathy. If it hyperfires in the wrong situations toward the wrong targets, you end up with suicidal empathy.
So Elon Musk has endorsed your book. He said Western civilization is doomed unless the core weakness of suicidal empathy is recognized and actions are taken that are hard but necessary for survival. Gad Saad articulates this well. All Gad's book, including this one, are great. All your books, including this one, are great. So a big fan in Elon Musk. Many people at the same time have viewed Elon's feed on his own X platform in the last couple of years as being an almost permanent rally cry against migration, and in particular, promoting people like Tommy Robinson, who I know you know
totally
and talk to. The people that many people think are genuinely Islamophobic, who hate Muslims and Islam and are direct.
I have to point out one thing here about Piers Morgan. He admits that his show's primary purpose is to irritate people. He admits that very, very much. It is to irritate people. So he will naturally say things or repeat things again and again that are just incredibly stupid, just to get a little bit of to make people irritated, to make people talk. He knows by now that the whole Islamophobia thing is just a stupid accusation, but he loves to bring up the term Islamophobic when he talks to people like Gad Saad. He knows that people will not like hearing this whole age-old nonsense of Islamophobia, because it's nonsense. But which is why he likes to bring up that term again and again.
All their fury at the 2 billion or so Muslims on the planet, which is, of course, 1 in 4 of the entire global population. What do you say to that?
Hey, wait a minute. So there are lots of people, there are lots of Muslims out there that don't seem to be like a poor little minority, which is why we shouldn't really care about offending them, right? Isn't that how it works?
Look, I'm an immigrant. Elon is an immigrant. The fact that we are both immigrants doesn't mean that we are equally likely to assimilate within the Western ethos, irrespective of where we come from, right? Fido the cat, the house cat, is a feline. The wild lion is a feline. They're both called feline. That doesn't mean that I will equally cuddle with both of them, despite the fact that they hold the same title of being a feline. So people from Islamic countries come in all varieties. Some are perfectly lovely and peaceful, others not so much so. But as we've discussed, you and I previously, Piers, Islam contains a set of codified ideas that are either congruent or incongruent with the West. And so in answering that question, we may want to decide how many Muslims to allow into the West.
Nice.
Which is perfectly reasonable to have controlled immigration policies. I think one of the problems you've seen in the UK, for example, and indeed throughout Europe.
When I watch these things, I always wonder if Piers is actually listening to a single word that the other person is saying.
I think not, because I mean, the last time we saw Gad Saad on there, like Gad Saad just gave him analogy after analogy after analogy to explain the same thing, and Piers still never seemed to get what any sane listening person would have gotten from the very first one.
I find it so funny though that God always comes here and then Piers asks him a stupid question and he just responds with an analogy.
Has been a failure by governments, Western governments, to control immigration, and that has been pretty disastrous, actually. So I don't, for a moment, dispute that. It's just my issue with people like Tommy Robinson, for example, is that his concern is singular to Muslims. It's all he talks about. I mean, you talk about a lot of Muslims are perfectly good, law-abiding, peaceful people, which is obviously true. But you could take the same argument with white Christians, right? UK is a majority white country. Therefore, the majority of crime is committed by white people. But if you read Tommy Robinson's X feed, he never mentions any crime.
This is such a stupid observation, man. What a retarded observation. This is a majority white country, therefore the majority of crime is committed by white people. Okay, good, fun, nice. If, however, let's say, if you look at the statistics and you see that among the non-white population, especially among the Muslim population that is in Britain, their likelihood to commit certain crimes is significantly higher than the likelihood of white people committing the very same crimes. Doesn't that mean that there is a problem with the Muslim population that we should be talking about? No, we should still be talking about the crimes of the white Christian population because they're the majority. Cool. So if Muslims, let's say hypothetically, were only 0.1% of the population, but committed like, I don't know, we're 1,000 times more likely than white people to commit sex crimes, for example. We should not be talking about that because the majority of crimes are still committed by white people. What kind of dumb logic is that? Shouldn't we be talking about the fact that there seems to be a great problem with this little group here that, despite being a minority, creates so many problems and is much more likely to engage in certain crimes? No, we shouldn't be talking about that. We should be talking about the fact that the majority of crime is committed by white people, because white people are the majority of this country, which is why there will naturally be more white people committing this crime. So dumb, man. This is so dumb.
By white people. It's like it doesn't exist. It's like this is a singular issue, that this kind of stuff only happens with Muslims. And that gets amplified by Elon to hundreds of millions of people. And that, I think, is problematic.
Look, in evolutionary psychology, there's a principle called assortative mating, which basically argues that if you wish to have a long, successful, happy marriage, you should marry someone with whom you share some of the most foundational values that define your life. So, for example, if I were an acerbic atheist and I marry someone who's very religious, I am putting the statistical odds against me of having a happy marriage. Love does not conquer all. By this exact same logic, there are a set of values that typically come from Islamic societies that are perfectly antithetical to Western values. So on average, someone coming from Denmark and Sweden and trying to settle in Iceland is more likely to assimilate than the same number of people coming from Waziristan and Afghanistan.
Whoa. What the heck? I didn't know I could share stuff.
Hey, look at that. What are you doing, man?
I was trying to send it to you so you could have it for the next person to put. But when someone said something about Sam, I was trying to figure out if it was the same person who said this.
Wait,
I didn't know it was gonna. Anytime I'm on with StreamYard and I click share the thing, then it puts it like in a thing, and they have to bring it up. But it just popped up the second I did it, man.
Yeah, because
I think that's because you gave me like the ability to run your thing or something at some point.
Because you did screen sharing instead of sending it to me on private.
Okay.
Chat.
Yeah, I didn't know that. No.
Oh, wait a minute.
I clicked on it the same present. Yeah. So someone earlier said something, but this person said, Sam, you were right about Thaddeus. However, your claims on David are baseless. I doubt he's privy to the ins and outs of another man's house. 2, how are you going to call someone fat when you are built like Santa's Christmas bag filled with 500 pounds of marshmallow?
Sister, the reason why I call other people fat is because when I look at your... Gosh.
He accidentally had a Freudian slip and said 8.
Because when I look at your fat mother who makes Shamu look skinny, then I feel justified, since no one can be as fat as that fat. Gosh, I don't want to read this, man.
Yeah, B. Lard, a mother of yours who gets mounted the whole country of Iran, since her lard spreads all over the Middle East. Now, if you weren't as stupid a B as your whore mother, you would see that rapists Woodstein, your lover, stands condemned for saying nothing to rebuke Fagadius. Now, fat B, go and fry some lard on your fat A mother's belly and make sure to smack her stomach and ride the tsunami after the aftermath of smacking her fat A. That's how Sam reacts to any sort of criticism. But no, it was he was calling someone else fat, and this person says, how are you calling someone fat when you look like a Santa's Christmas bag filled with 500 pounds?
I do find that comment funny, though. It starts out with like a kind advice. Sam, you were right about Thaddeus. However, your claims on David are baseless. I doubt he's privy. And then, and by the way,
just
how are
dial
you
it up to 10 right there.
when you're absolutely fat, when you look like a bag of marshmallows? I love that comment.
That's why it sounded just like the comment you read a couple minutes ago, and that's why I was like, is that the same person? Because that was the same. That sounded very similar.
That's messed up. Very, very messed up. Very, very, very messed up. Anyway, now get your stuff on my screen when I was watching a video. So Gatha was making a good point here.
antithetical to Western values. So on average, someone coming from Denmark and Sweden and trying to settle in Iceland is more likely to assimilate than the same number of people coming from Waziristan and Afghanistan. And that statement should be obvious to the average 3-day-old pigeon.
Pause it. But you know what was funny? While he was saying it, I was thinking, I like how he speaks to Pierce like he's talking to a 7-year-old, right? Like, I'm speaking very slowly and carefully and trying to give examples that you can understand. But with that said, a 3-year-old pigeon could understand this. And Pierce, no, hang on. So you're saying blah, 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 and he won't get it.
So you're saying I'm a 3-year-old pigeon?
So you're saying anyone who's a 3-year-old pigeon would be okay to immigrate to your country, but if someone was a human being, they wouldn't, as long as they're Muslim. That what you're saying? I do like how Pierce just takes it, not the Zutzim, but he just sits there and takes it.
I know. He just takes it all. The Buddha takes it all. Year-old pigeon. I think I saw Tommy Robinson post about this. Where's Tommy Robinson?
What?
Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson.
Tommy Robinson. Hey, Tommy.
You know what's so nice about Tommy? It's like the guy is doing so much all the time and is just everywhere, and everybody wants to talk to him. Then when you hang out with him, he's just like the most down-to-earth person there is.
Yeah. What I like about Tommy, because he's one of the OGs, right? He's one of the OGs. He was doing this before everyone else. And it's like they went after him like they've never gone after anyone else. And he just didn't. He just kept coming. He just kept coming. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, everything that came at him, like tossing him in prison over and over again on complete bogus nonsense, just to be okay. Now he's going to learn. Now he's going to learn that we toss him in prison. Now you're going to back down, and he wouldn't.
Here's Tommy, one of the best one-liners ever, and that statement should be obvious to the average 3-day-old pigeon. He posts this.
It was classic.
Classico.
Oh, think how, like if you're Tommy, you're looking around and there's still all kinds of problems and stuff like that, all kinds of problems in the world, and still got tons of stuff to do. But just the fact that now you're not alone, like, back in the day, it was just kind of like him and a couple of others. But now you got Elon Musk retweeting your stuff. And then the grooming gangs report finally comes out and it proves that everything you were saying 15 years ago, when everyone just said, no, you're lying, you're a racist, all this stuff. And now you've been proven right on everything.
That's right.
But what do we do with people who are not?
It's so funny how Pierce completely didn't react at all to the statement of a 3-year-old pigeon.
Not Muslim, but commit similar crimes.
What?
Old pigeon.
But what do we do with people who are not Muslim, but commit similar crimes?
You mean if you have another immigrant from a different place who's not a Muslim who goes around raping women or something? Yeah, you could punish and then kick that person out too.
What a stupid question.
Yeah. What do we do with them, eh? What do we do? We just keep them because they're not Muslims. So that's fine. We're gonna let all those migrants going around raping women and stuff like that. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying, Gad? Because that's what I'm hearing somehow.
You're saying we should be punishing Muslims because they commit crimes, but we shouldn't punish anybody else because they commit crimes. Is that what you're saying?
Hey, someone should invent a device called Pierce ears or Pierce headphones or something like this. And someone says something that makes perfect sense, but then what Pierce actually somehow hears the person saying. And it's wrong every time.
I mean, it's very easy. Execute the Muslim ones who do the crime, and then also execute all the non-Muslim ones who also do the similar crimes, like the raping, for example. It's very easy.
So you're saying that if someone's not a Muslim, he should go around raping with impunity? Well, I just have a problem with that.
Punish them like we would anybody else, right? There are Jewish pedophiles that should be punished No one is
You
contesting
see?
that. I'm
Everyone was
Jewish.
right
I
about
think
the
they should
Jews.
deserve the exact same punishment as anybody else. That doesn't take away from the fact that when we're looking at the
See, Gertzad is a groper now.
You see, he admitted it. He admitted what everyone has been saying about the Jews.
He's a groper now.
Candace Owens was right.
British grooming gangs for the past 30 years, most of them are not named Mordechai Richter. They're named Muhammad Akbar Hussein.
That is
They're not named Mordecai Richter Goldberg.
Very nice.
He's just naturally deadpan funny, man.
Like Rotherham and
He
Telford in
is.
the north of England were predominantly British Pakistani Muslim men, and they were committing their crimes, horrendous crimes, against many thousands of young white English girls, predominantly. So that was
That's right.
an appalling scandal.
That's right.
It wasn't exposed by Tommy Robinson, as he likes to claim. It was exposed by a journalist at the Times newspaper in a big front page expose at the start of
And Tommy Robinson
Yeah.
was raging
And-
about all of that for years, and you were expecting him.
and that's what eventually Tommy and a couple of others is what, including like Sammy Woodhouse and stuff. It was the people who were pointing this out back in the day. Eventually got someone to write an article about it, and then according to Pierce, nope, no one is doing anything. This guy randomly just decided to write an article about this stuff.
That's right.
I don't dispute and never have done that Robinson hasn't banged the drum about this quite properly, because he's right. It was a scandal that was then covered up, and it was covered up because people didn't want to confront the reality of who was perpetrating these crimes.
That's right, Pierce.
They were doing it. And the whole thing, frankly, was a complete disgrace.
Uh-huh.
Having said that, it's also true that the vast majority of sexual crime in the UK is committed by white men, right? And again, I simply say, if every
And why? Because white men are the majority of the country. Once again, let's go per capita. And it turns out that that the non-whites, specifically the Pakistani and Muslim and others, have significantly higher crime rates. Not numbers. That would be incredibly difficult, and that would be absolutely messed up. But they are significantly higher rates to commit those crimes, and that is the problem, Pierce. That is the problem. And also, when it comes to grooming gangs, organized rape gangs, they are actually predominantly of Muslim or Pakistani or Bangladeshi and so on backgrounds. That's a big problem.
everyone's focus is only on sex crimes by Muslim men, and therefore used as a stick to beat Islam with generally, even though the vast majority of
Yes, because Muslims have a significantly higher sex crime rate in the country. And here's a question. If there wasn't a giant Muslim population in the UK, right? If there weren't so many Muslims in the UK, would you still have the same number of sex crimes and rape crimes and grooming crimes that you have today? If you didn't have such a massive Muslim population in your country, you wouldn't have those big extra problems in your country that are highly disturbing and that your authorities actually don't do much about. And that needs to be solved. You can always deal with the crimes committed among criminals in your own local population. But why in the world do you have to tolerate rapists that come in masses from different countries and are then protected by your local authorities out of fears of racism and Islamophobia? How stupid is that? Gosh.
2 billion Muslims in the world do not commit sex crimes, then there's a
Has anybody ever said that?
problem right there, isn't there?
Right. Again, I think we discussed it last time, the per capita issue. It is incontestable.
No, I
that
understand the
it
per
is-
capita, yeah.
We did.
I understand that.
Well,
yeah.
so then that
But it does-
addresses the question. Go ahead.
Well, not really, because per capita means that, yes, if you have more white people, you are more likely, and you have a disproportionate number of a certain ethnicity committing crimes, then you can say there's a per capita thing. The problem with that grooming gang scandal, the problem with sex crimes in the UK generally, particularly involving young people, is there is not really a proper breakdown to assess. So when people keep bringing up this, per capita thing, I understand the meaning of it, obviously, but there's not the information available to make that assessment in most of the cases. And that, again, I think is a problem.
Right. But to link it back to suicidal empathy, look,
This is so funny, man. Even the Labour government has confirmed that there seems to be a pattern, looking at the reports, that the perpetrators of grooming gangs seem to be of mostly Pakistani or otherwise Asian origin. Asian meaning by official British standards, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and so on, not Japanese people. So even the Labour government, even Keir Starmer himself, admitted that it seems to be the case that the majority of perpetrators of grooming gangs are of South Asian origin, of Muslim origin, very often. This is somehow not important? You somehow want to dismiss this? You somehow think this is not very important to the statistics and the conversation?
You have to repeat everything you said, because I made the mistake of glancing over where on X, where I shared this live stream, and it came and you didn't have a thumbnail until the last second, and so I was wondering if it went to your no thumbnail or the citizen vigilante, and then of course it went to, it's a picture of me as citizen vigilante, but then someone left as a comment the same picture but with me as Dieter Rommel. Dieter Rommel, baby, Dieter Rommel. Anyway, sorry about that. So anyway, what were you saying?
Is that somebody who was watching? Probably.
Yeah, they had to be, because I mentioned Dieter Rommel. Man.
Yeah. Can't be a coincidence. I wasn't saying anything to you.
Most fundamental instinct that human beings have, other than to survive, is to protect their children. So imagine that British authorities, whether they be the politicians or the police authorities, said, here are a bunch of children that are being systematically tortured and raped by a particular group of people. And when we're looking at the competing calculus of either protecting our children or demonstrating who is the culprit in those particular cases, let us say, hey, girls, take one for the team, because we don't want to create Islamophobia. That's the suicidal empathy, notwithstanding the fact of what you said, which is, of course, white men also commit rapes. Of course, Jewish men also commit rapes. It doesn't take away from the singular tragedy of the grooming gangs that comes from suicidal empathy.
Chances are you've heard a lot of.
Indeed.
He's good at explaining stuff, man. And the sad part is he has to keep trying to explain it to Piers Morgan.
He's explaining it to the wrong person.
Yeah, but it's fortunate for the people who are actually watching and can still process thoughts and so on.
Apparently,
that was a good point right there. It's about okay, you got, you want to, protect the girls, but also what do you tell the girls to take one for the team because you don't want to cause Islamophobia?
I guess it would be nice to go through the reports again, at least to go through one of the. Okay, no, never mind. I was going to read the whole thing, the whole case of Chloe, but I'm not going to do it now. We shall continue in a minute. I'm sorry, but just 50 minutes of Nasser and Shimoon in the same stream was like being a victim of that citizen vigilante, dude. Here's your grift money. Love you guys. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's always good to grift. Mark Moon Fang, sorry for being a downer, but as much as I put my trust in God here, there is a fear growing that significant civil conflict will arise between Christians and Muslims as tensions rise. What say you? I agree. And I agree. What do you think, David?
Yeah, those civil tensions back in the past are what kept Islam from taking over all of Europe.
That's right. That's right. Wait a minute, man.
Yeah, here's the thing. You should avoid conflict when conflict is counterproductive and things like that. If it's a bunch of people bragging about how they're going to take over and how they can rape all your daughters because they're inferior beings and stuff like that, that's a time you want conflict. There are times for conflict, guys.
There's a time for everything.
Mhm.
A time for conflict and so on. That's what the Bible says. But sorry, I'm distracted. I'm currently checking the game between Portugal and Colombia, and nothing is happening.
Not one person on the planet besides you cares about that.
5 minutes extra time. Okay, good. Maybe they can do something in that meantime. Okay. Yes. Mr. Olympian, which historian do you recommend for the Crusades? David, which historian do you recommend for the Crusades?
Raymond Ibrahim.
Raymond Ibrahim. You do?
Yep.
That's interesting. Nice. I just found out today Dr. Nasser debated Sam on the Islamic dilemma. Sam was shockingly not creepy. Doc got smacked around just like with God logic. Nice. Zachary Duquette, what frustrates me is that they cannot admit that crimes committed by either legal or illegal crime. What? The crime committed by either legal or illegal crime did not have to occur. Okay. And that it did occur is with the consent of the government, and failure to take action should make the government illegitimate. Yes, I agree with it as well. I agree with it very, very, very much. You just need to. It's more than just about crime happens. It's less about crime happens. It's more about the fact that the crime is being permitted. The crime is being permitted. That's it.
Yeah, and it's okay if you have a country and a population and so on. Okay, there are going to be people within your country who commit crimes, but those are people who are in your country. Your country is responsible for these people because that's where they are and so on. When your government brings in criminals from somewhere else, and then they bring in people who commit all sorts of crimes, and you say, well, other people commit crimes too. Okay, your government brought these people in. That did not need to happen. None of those crimes needed to happen. You imported them. So that's different from just, oh, well, there are always people who are going to commit crimes somewhere.
That's right. That's right. I have a Crusades book somewhere here behind me, but I don't know where it isn't. Don't know where to access it right now.
Several. I think they're in my other room.
I think it's called Crusades, the Illustrated History.
I think Robert Spencer, this was years ago, but he published the politically incorrect guides to Islam and the Crusades or something like that.
You see, I wasn't lying. You see.
AP's got the cartoon version. Look, here's one of the pictures of all the Christians getting their heads chopped off by them powerful, strong Muslims.
It is a very based book by a based historian. Thomas, Madden?
Hey, Tommy.
All right. What else? Van de Wild says, "Go God's game. You know you're a towel, funny but tragic." This is true. I can't get the image out of my head of looking up your Turkish nose. Please pray for me. That was when we were all together in Washington, D.C. Why can't the left understand per capita? I thought they were so much smarter than us conservatives, so basic statistical concepts elude them. I don't think that people want to understand this. Ida goes in Ida. Missed you both. So good to see you. But what the F is going on with YouTube? Why it won't let me send you super stickers? I do not know. YouTube always has problems. But it's good to see you here. Paul, has anyone told you that you like Honore de Balzac? No. UK doesn't collect the race stats because of Islamophobia. This is true. William Dixon became a new member. Welcome to the cult.
Yeah, remember Sammy Woodhouse said that when she was being interviewed. I mean, keep in mind, she's a grape gang survivor. And when they had her on for a live news program. They said, under no circumstances should you bring up the race or ethnicity of the people who were doing this. And she actually called them out during the live stream. Why'd you tell me I can't bring up race or their ethnicity and so on? Why'd you say that?
That's right.
Beast.
So what I noticed is that it will not let me send the third super sticker only. Nice. Ida, send the super sticker. Thank you, Ida. Elijah Penny, AP is the reincarnation of Balzac. Mark my words. I'm not going to say it like that. AP, how dare the Turks just beat Team USA? This was the only football match I was interested in for obvious reasons. Why did we lose? Sad.
Oh yeah, you should have seen AP's like, yeah, in your face. He was doing this behind the scenes. In your face, Turkey. I'm gonna move back to Turkey because their glory has been restored. The Ottoman Empire has returned.
You just said in your face, Turkey.
Oh. Because you get to call everyone else turkeys now.
Yeah. So the thing is that the American team didn't really take this game as seriously because it changed literally nothing for them. They were already leader of the group.
Yeah,
so
leader of the pack.
They just went with all the reserve players onto the field, and Turkey played their best game with all their number one players.
Wait, did they do that?
Yeah, that's what they did.
No. I mean, did the U.S. just put out like their B team basically?
Yeah, they did.
Okay. Well, that's a different story then. I was thinking, everyone got hyped up because Team USA won 2 games and then they lose to the crappiest country in the entire universe.
It's because the game's result had no significance at all.
No. I understand. See, that was not explained to me. And no, that happens. That happens in real football, right? Like if you get to the end of the season, if you get to the end of the season, you've already won the division. You're going to the playoffs, and this game doesn't affect your playoff standing at all. They'll rest their best players and stuff like that and give them an extra week to rest, especially to make sure they don't get injured, because you're always at a risk of injury every time you're on the field. So that makes sense. Okay. You just had to explain it in terms of real football, and then I understand it. Other than that, it made no sense.
Which is why a bunch of memes started going around like this one here. And the funny thing is, so America put on all the people that need to, that's put all the people away that need to rest, came with their B team, lost the game to Turkey. Turkey came with their best players. They won, and they started celebrating and acting like, yeah, we won.
We've been avenged from World War I and our loss of the
caliphate. They're literally out of the tournament and are returning home now, and they're celebrating like they won the cup,
like parades and stuff. we beat the great shaitan.
And so it started bringing about memes like these here.
That is funny. I like how everyone's looking down at them.
So the original meme is with this guy winning at least something. Here in this case, the guy is not winning anything. They're out of the tournament.
And then the result is he zits himself in the face.
It's just hilarious, man.
That was the only enjoyable soccer moment in my entire life right there. That was pretty funny.
That was hilarious. They celebrating because they got eliminated and kicked out of the World Cup. Hilarious stuff, man. Hilarious stuff. All right. Let's continue. Colombia 0, Portugal 0. Hey, don't say that, man. David always makes fun of nothing happening in football games. Chris Creative, it seems to me all these are just sacrifices to globalism, and whatever these politicians have been promised in the new world. I generally think everything is significantly less elaborate and intelligent than people generally think. I think that many of these politicians in charge are simply doing whatever they want to do in the moment because they're happy to do it, because it plays into their hands, and they don't like to think about the long-term consequences of their actions, or they don't really care about them. Because they don't care about your country and your values. AP, I love your new haircut. I love the cross behind you. Where can I get the same one? I mean the cross, not the haircut. I really don't like my haircut. I never want my hair this short. But America is notorious for. So the thing is, as people who live in Europe, we have a more sophisticated world of haircuts and all that. When you go to get a haircut in Europe anywhere, like you go to the crappiest barber, you can have a long discussion about what kind of haircut you want. You go to a barber in America and it's like, you want number 1 or number 2 or number 3? No, I want this, this styled over here. Okay, 1 or 2 or 3. I don't want a freaking 1, 2, or 3. I want just one. Oh, you want fade? You want fade?
Where AP acting like there's not a trillion barbershops and dude,
Yeah, they're all called fades because the one thing they know is, oh, you want the fade? You want the number 1?
You're looking
fade
for
or
a
number 2
salon.
fade?
You need to go to a place called a salon. They'll do exactly what you want. I do have to say though, you used to just keep a neat little goatee and have short hair. Now all of a sudden you look like someone who like jumps, someone jumps out of a dumpster or something like that. Oh, hey, what are you coming and throwing garbage in my house for? You turned into like a total hobo.
This is true. I need to fly to Europe whenever I need to get a haircut. I should do that. But thank you, I appreciate that. As for the cross here, this is a Coptic cross, and I really don't remember where I got it from. It is a Coptic icon cross. I have no idea where I got that from, honestly. I will share more information about it at some other point. I was looking at crosses. Oh, there you go. I found it. It's on Etsy. It's called Coptic Cross by Archangel Coptic Icons. Okay.
I could just make one of those with I can't tell how thick that is. If it's thin wood, use a scroll saw. Anyway. Oh yeah, I wouldn't use a scroll saw with that.
What?
Nothing.
Okay. Oh hey. Oh yeah. Sorry. Hey David.
I'm about to make a super dope cross.
Ayatollah Khamenei says Erdogan just announced that Turkey has now defeated the kuffar and the lira just rebounded to $0.001 US. It's over.
It rebounded. Wait, you guys use lira over there?
Yeah, but the funniest thing about it is
That's
following.
what Italy uses. What the heck?
But look at this though. Turks
Or
are
did they switch to euros?
Turkey is so concerned with things. Look at their freaking economy and their currency. Look at this now.
All because they won a game. Oh no!
Look at this. When I was in Turkey, at some point, $1 was worth 1.5 lira or something.
Oh,
At some point, it got really
bad. I looked at that and I was like, "Oh, their economy is booming." No, this is inflation.
Yeah. When I left Turkey, it was $1 was worth nearly 3 Turkish liras. And then right now, $1 is worth 46 Turkish liras, which means the Turkish currency has become completely worthless.
Yep.
Inflation skyrocketed. It has become so worthless.
And
they're still proud of it.
I was in Greece. When I was a kid, and I figured out that the 2 drachma coin was the exact same size as a quarter, but it was like 200 drachmas for $1. So, the 2 drach coin was basically a penny, and it was the same size as a quarter. So I spent the entire summer collecting this giant sack of 2 drach coins, and then I used them got back and used them for video games and sodas and vending machines and everything for like the next year.
Here's a better view of it, as you can see. The Turkish lira has become completely worthless. What a wonderful country.
What a wonderful country in opposite world.
PC, AP, I was recently in Armenia, saw Mount Ararat. Did you know the Turks stole the mountain from Armenia in the early 20th century? Yes, I did. I would love to go to Armenia one day.
Someone said Turkish lira is worth loads in Iran right now.
Must be nice to see Mount Ararat up close. I think I really want to go there one day. That'll be very fun. Echoing erudites. Watch the film Shaolin Soccer for Real Men Soccer.
I've seen some clips of that. That is actually better soccer.
I will never communicate with anyone who calls it soccer. So,
well, I mean, if they called it Shaolin football, people would be expecting football, man. It doesn't work like that.
We also saw Iran, which was 2 miles away. Beast. Catholic s'mores. That haircut would go great with the Charlie Chaplin mustache.
Yeah, just say you're getting it cut like Charlie Chaplin.
Bring back the Charlie Chaplin mustache.
It's funny because when you're saying, what do you want, the number 1, the number 2, or number 3? That's how I used to go to in the Bronx. I went to these guys. I don't know where they're from. They're like Eastern European and stuff like this. And but I'd be walking down the street elsewhere in the Bronx where people like really care about, because I like those Eastern European dudes because the whole haircut takes 4 minutes and stuff like that. It was cheap. They're super quick and stuff. They just made it short. But I'd be walking down the street somewhere else in the Bronx, and like the black barbers would come out, would like come out and chase me down and go, hey, dude, those white Eastern European barbers are screwing up your hair. We can make you look way better. Here's my card. And it's like, but they knew that I just go to they somehow knew I just go to the Eastern European dudes. And they were like, nope. But I'm always thinking like, no, you guys take like half an hour to cut to hair. I don't want to spend half an hour getting my hair cut. Anyway.
This is why in America, I usually go to a proper hair salon to get haircuts from women who actually do a better job. But decided to, maybe I should try some barbers again, but it sucked. Now I have to go back to a hair salon. Thank you, IP. IP?
IP2. IP. Thank you,
I
IP.
would look it up on Etsy. Lovely cross.
Is
Thank you.
IP here? IP in the chat?
I don't pee in the chat. Yeah,
Is IP on the chat?
Archangel Coptic Icons. It even has a QR code here. You can scan the QR code here. No, I'm even advertising for them. See,
I think I can make something cooler than that. I've never tried, but I'm pretty sure I can.
But you can't draw the icon. So.
I don't think they drew that. They probably got they probably have like a pile of stickers that they put on there.
Nope, it is very clearly drawn.
That is a sticker.
OMG AP, not IP. That's all right. Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouth, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear. And you know what? This reminds me of earlier we were talking about there is a time for everything, or there's a season for everything. People might remember that even when I was an atheist, I repeatedly said my favorite book from the Bible
was Ecclesiastes. As soon as you quoted Ecclesiastes earlier, I was like, oh, even when he was an atheist, AP said that was his favorite book.
Yeah, I loved Ecclesiastes when I was an atheist. So the other day I decided to sit down and actually read the whole thing again in silence after coming to faith. And it's very interesting. I wanted to sit down and lengthily explain that. It hits very differently now. And I actually get it now, or I'm getting closer to getting it now. I really appreciated the values and the sentiments that the book of Ecclesiastes delivers, and I always thought it's way ahead of its time. But now looking at it with a with faith, I felt also that I needed a reminder from everything that it teaches and everything that it says. It has such a wonderfully fantastic grip on everything. It's a fantastic teacher for life. I still to this day now recommend Ecclesiastes for everyone to read.
Hey,
What?
you know, it's funny because back then, and I said this years ago, I remembered it because I didn't read the Bible back then, but in high school, I had to read Politics in the English Language by George Orwell. And I said, George Orwell quoted that. He was an atheist too, but Orwell quoted that and compared it with how politicians talk now, right? He's talking about how like language is becoming like so distorted, like you, in order to confuse people. All right, ready? Life gets you, lol. Hey, check this out. Anyway, what I didn't do back there was just look up Politics in the English Language by George Orwell. But here it is, right? So here's this little part. He says, Orwell says, now that I have made this catalog of swindles and perversions, let me give another example of the kind of writing that they lead to. This time, it must, of its nature, be an imaginary one. I am going to translate a passage of good English into modern English of the worst sort. Here is a well-known verse from Ecclesiastes. I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, nor yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happeneth to them all. Here it is in modern English. Objective consideration of contemporary phenomena compels the conclusion that success or failure in competitive activities exhibits no tendency to be commensurate with innate capacity, but that a considerable element of the unpredictable must invariably be taken into account. That's fine. I read that in high school, and I always remember him quoting that and making fun of how modern people talk.
This is kind of funny because when I read the Bible, I prefer reading it in a translation that is not the KJV translation. And I know this will offend lots of people.
Ecclesiastes is pretty dope in the KJV.
I know, and I appreciate that, but I like to read it like I get the point. I like to read it in the, for example, the NKJV or the ESV or even the NIV. Or something like that. It does sound more sophisticated when you read it in the KJV version, though. It's kind of funny. But I don't need it to sound sophisticated because it's already sophisticated enough. It's already beautiful enough.
Did you ever hear the song, or was that way too out of your time?
Which song?
Someone made a song about that. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time. They sing the whole passage, man.
No. No. Doesn't offend me. As long as you're reading the Bible, that's good enough for me. Based. It
is totally based.
Freemasons use KJV for Ecclesiastes. Don't ask how I know.
Ashmay's Freemason confirmed.
I know that as well because I was looking up the Freemason. This is funny. I think several months ago, Candace Owen started bringing up how something about the Freemason Bible. I don't remember the context exactly. But then I looked up the Freemason Bible, and it was literally just the KJV. With the Freemason forewords, that's it. Freemasons like to read the KJV, apparently. KJV is best for beauty of expression, I believe ye. I do believe ye.
Yeah, that's the idea. It's like it was a literary masterpiece for its time, but like, you know, words can change meanings over time and stuff, so it could be hard to read for some people. But, you know, at the end of the day, the New Testament's written in Koine Greek, was just like the language of the common people, not in classical Greek. Like I studied classical Greek in graduate school, and they like make fun of the Greek of the New Testament as not being like what the not even being easily seriously compared to the great Greek writers and stuff like that. So that's kind of the trade-off. Like, do you have something that's written in a really eloquent fashion, even though the New Testament was written for like common people to understand?
It is so weird to me. I think even in the Greek, you have Koine Greek, which the Bible is written in. But then when you go to Greek churches, for example, they still have prayers and things, despite using modern Greek, done in Koine Greek, but written down with the what's it called? The orthography of modern Greek applied to Koine Greek, just because it looks and sounds more authoritative when it's the ancient language. I guess that's the same thing that we do in English when people write verses in KJV English instead of writing it in modern English. I guess there's something nice to it when you use the old language. Same thing happening in the Catholic Church in Latin and such. Same thing happening in German, for example. Have you guys seen Pauline Hanson in Australia walking into Senate with a burqa on? She walked in and sat down. Nobody checked who she is. She did it twice to protest the wearing of burqas in Australia. I did see something of that. I didn't really follow this.
That was a while back, wasn't it? Like,
I mean, I don't really care about
months ago,
Australia.
or
It's not a real country, so I'm not really sure what happens down there anyway. It's basically like Texas on Mars. But I hope it was interesting. PC Luth, we went with Chuck Holton, who is a pro-Israel American war journalist. I think he has watched you guys. That is very, very based. It is very based.
well, if he's a pro-Israel American war journalist, he's definitely watched us.
Well, primarily because we serve the Jews, and I'm a puppet of Israel and the Mossad, so obviously that's what we do. BC Wench, AP hasn't had a haircut. He's had his ears lowered. This is true. Objective Christian, I created a short video mocking chorus. Okay, perfect. The Muslim response has been marvelous. Muz cope tastes delicious.
Yeah, where'd you make that Objective Christian? I saw that and I clicked on your channel and I didn't see it. The most recent thing I saw was an intermission song for God Logic.
David did not see it.
Where is it? I did not see it.
Dude, stop saying Nazi. $2 to hit the Christianity's base button, please. Here you go.
Christianity is based.
Paul, news, no soup for Knowles posted clip of Kenneth talking about the founding of America, how it's Frankists. Who did every revolution in the world in history to hurt Christian empire, and they hide as Protestants. Does she actually still run with the stupid Frankist thing? Nobody even knows what that is. It is such a stupid... I don't even know where she got that from. Did that pick anything up here? They were an old sect that died out, that's it. I wonder if anybody added anything to the Wikipedia article about this. This has been popularized due to Candace Owens. Oh yeah, here you go. This is very, very funny. Hang on.
Candace making it to the big leagues now.
Look at this. I was wondering if that happened. Modern day references to Frankism. Although Frankism is often considered a historical footnote within Jewish messianic movements, references to it have re-emerged in contemporary political and cultural discourse. Many references to Frankism have been characterized as anti-Semitic tropes in academia and media sources. I bet this is talking about Candace Owens. A conspiracy theory pushed by some people such as Candace Owens have described Frankism as the preferred religion of the elites and associated it with devil worship and modern-day inversion rituals.
Okay, what's
this
the
is so funny because there's nothing about it at all except
post and the forward.
Except the fact that Candace Owens and some others started popularizing this stupidity.
Look at this, because this is from 2024. It said, look at the title. Candace Owens has gone so conspiratorial. Really? You ain't seen nothing. Hey, forward.
Look at the
2024. You haven't seen anything.
No, look at what it really says. Candace Owens has gone so conspiratorial, she's now citing forgotten Jewish heretics.
Oh, the good old days of Candace in 2024.
Those were the days, my friend. Yeah, Frankists are gay. I prefer the Clementine Latin Vulgate, to each their own. Hey, to each their own. I like reading the Revised Standard RSV CE, Revised Standard Version Catholic Edition.
It's a very, very nice thing to read. Alhamdulillah. Have either of you read G.A. Riplinger's book, New Age Bible Versions? She goes in depth into why the KJV is correct overall.
That is, if you're serious, go do a little bit of research on that. That was one of the first apologetics books I read was James White responding to that book and how she just absolutely massacres and twists everything she's saying. By the way, a little side note, G.A. Riplinger, her name is Gail Riplinger. She said her book is inspired by God, and the GA in her title stands for God and Riplinger. God as author, Riplinger as secretary. And it's complete. It's complete. I mean, the whole thing's complete nonsense.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So yeah, she convinced a ton of people to go around like there were people like burning Bibles that weren't the King James version after that, because she convinced people that it's all like infiltration of New Age, like controlling people's translations and stuff is completely idiotic.
That is pretty messed up. I don't understand the whole KJV craze. I mean, it's a good thing and a good development in the history of reading the Bible. But
Sunrise in Paradise said James White is a donkey. James White was spot on in his book, The King James Only Controversy. That James is awesome at that stuff. James is awesome at that. He's awesome at defending the deity of Christ, the Trinity, all that stuff.
Dude, what the heck?
What?
She stated her reason for using G.A. Riplinger as the author name.
Hey, Red Letter said, we all know you only read the Schofield Bible. Wait, is the Schofield Bible King James? I don't know, because the Schofield Bible is like the commentary.
Yeah, it's King James version commentary.
Yeah.
It's literally just a commentary, a dispensationalist commentary on the King James version of the Bible. This is very, very funny, man. In the February-January 1994 edition of the End Times Victorious Living newsletter, Riplinger stated her reason for using G.A. Riplinger as the author name. Each discovery was not the result of effort on my part, but of the direct hand of God, so much so that I hesitated to even put my own name on the book. Consequently, I used G.A. Riplinger, which signifies to me God and Riplinger.
That I remember that from reading this stuff in prison. So this would have been like 90, and this was early on, so you're talking like 96, 97.
God as author and Riplinger as secretary. Wow, man.
She's claiming her book as inspired by God. Rotar USA says, genuinely, which versions are best to read the Bible? I don't know. NIV. There's a general saying that, you know, the best Bible translation is the one you're most likely to read, and you don't want some weird translation. Sometimes people do translate with an agenda. They're usually like cults and stuff. But if you get any like the mainstream translations, kind of two main things you're looking for, but this is kind of up to you. Do you want the sort of literal word for word type translation, or do you want like the kind of thought for thought translation? Because the word for word translations, they're kind of like wooden, and like, whereas the thought for thought translations, they flow better and stuff. So like me, I prefer the literal translations. And keep in mind, guys, when we talk about literal translations, we're not just saying the others are just messing with the text or something like that. We're saying, like, if you take an interlinear Bible where it gives, the Greek on one line and the translation of each word in the Greek under it, like your NASB, your ESV, they're like that. It's like just looking at the interlinear under the Greek and stuff like that. And so then you got like the NIV is more of a let's smooth things over type translation. So it's kind of I prefer, when I'm just reading, I prefer the kind of literal word for word translation. But if I'm quoting things in presentations, I usually prefer something else like the NIV or something.
Okay, I'll give you several translations and you'll rank them in your opinion. ESV, NIV, NASB, and NKJV.
It depends. NASB and NASB and ESV are what I prefer to read if I'm by myself. NIV is what I prefer to quote. NKJV. I'll give you guys the progression. So I became a Christian. I read the New Testament multiple times in the KJV. That's what I had. The Gideons gave me a King James Bible. I still have it somewhere, and I still have, even when I was an atheist and I was writing stuff in the back of it and stuff, I still have that. I read the New Testament multiple times after I became a Christian. Read that in the King James, and then I read all the way through from Genesis to Revelation in that Bible in the King James. Then I read the New Testament in New King James. Then I switched to, I think, New Revised Standard, and I read that all the way through. Then I read NIV, and then I read simultaneously, I read the NIV Study Bible and one other translation simultaneously. Like I'd read the chapters in one, then read the chapters in the other, then read the next section in one, read next section in the other and stuff. And then after that, I switched to NASB, and I just used NASB for several years, and then switched to ESV at some point as far as just when I'm reading it. So yeah, and all the translations AP's mentioned, I've either read at least the New Testament or the whole thing. But yeah, I still tend to prefer ESV or NASB.
I found NRSV very smooth to read, but isn't it one of those translations that does the whole forced gender neutral thing, and of adding men and women or brothers and sisters when the text just says brothers or just says men?
Which one?
NRSV. I think. I don't know. I don't remember. That was my memory of it.
Don't recall. The more recent version, the more recent NIV update does that. It makes things it makes them gender neutral whenever possible and stuff.
I was very sure that the NRSV does that too, but I might be completely wrong. I like the RSV CE, but that is the real Bible, so it's not relevant to Protestant conversations. Have either of you? No. What? James White is my favorite Catholic apologist, says Catholic S'mores. Based. A citizen vigilante didn't show people asleep to Islam. It showed a liberal society intentionally using the police to make people suffer Islam, and illiberal force used against this liberal society that knows what it is doing. The thing is that there is one thing that the movie does show, which I agree heavily with, and which I'm often outraged about, which is that that people just feel comfortable and just want to go about living their lives, despite also being outraged about all the stuff that is happening outside. People want to follow the rules. People want to be sheepish. It's a very, very big problem in Europe, I think. I think European people in general have this tendency to express their outrage and express their anger, I don't know, online or to their politicians or in elections, and say, I condemn this. I vehemently condemn this. I am really out. I want to let my politicians and my representatives know that I'm outraged about this, while also not doing anything about it, while also trying to make sure that you don't piss anybody off. And that is a big problem. You have a population that invades you that perfectly uses that kind of stuff. So people need to stop being sheepish. It's not just on the politicians, it's not just on the government, not just on the elites, it's also on the people who suffer and to allow this to happen. The ABC, it's easy as 1, 2, 3.
ABC, it's easy as 1, 2, 3.
But thank you for that super chat, Branka. Hamzut Al-Khanzir says, Dr. Frank Turek says most versions of the Bible are okay, except for those like the New World Translation, which is a perversion. It is...
That's the translation I was thinking of when I mentioned, sometimes people do translate with it.
Is that the one that mixes this whole New Age stuff into it and like uses the phrase "as above, so below" and stuff?
No. That's the Jehovah's Witnesses translation. So like in theirs it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was a God.
What translation am I thinking of?
I don't know. It's funny. I was asked this question in college by this Asian kid. He's like, "Hey, what Bible version you reading?" I go, "Right now, NIV." And he goes, "Oh yeah, why are you reading the NIV?" And I go, "Well, any of the modern translations are going to be pretty good, unless you go with some weird cult translation like the New World Translation." Turned out the guy was Jehovah's Witness, and that's what he was trying to push me towards. He turned out to be psycho later on, like I don't mean psycho in the good sense like me. I mean actually like psychotic break. They had to call police on him, and they couldn't find him in the building because it was 9 floors, and he would like go around. And anyway, they had to get police to block off all the exits and then search like floor by floor for the dude because he was stalking some girl and said he was going to kill her.
It's kind of funny. We went completely off topic and started talking about the Bible and all that, but we have 1,600 people watching, despite it having nothing to do.
What's wrong with all these people? We can just randomly talk about anything. Yeah. They're like, "Hey, we'll just sit here and watch."
I mean, it's kind of went into a whole very interesting conversation but completely unrelated to the actual topic of the live stream. So, Paul, King Charles changed his title from Defender of the Church to Defender of All Faiths.
Did he?
He's Britain to globalism. Did this really happen? I mean, he metaphorically kind of did, but just pretty stupid, pretty messed up. Uploading it as a YouTube short now, says.
Oh yeah. I asked him where that video was.
Rotar USA, thank you for your answer. Thank you for your answer. What about the translation that removed Bible verses like Acts 8:37 and 9:44 and Mark 9:46?
Oh, this is here you have it. Here you have the Gail Riplinger arguments. There are reasons for different translations and so on, namely people who go to Bible manuscripts, right? The King James was translated based on a couple of very late manuscripts, Bible manuscripts. Now, guess what? You still get the same message in the King James Bible as you do for modern translations and so on. So any Muslims, you see it's been corrupted. That's just what happens. It happens with manuscripts of the Quran as well. When people go to earlier manuscripts and they see something different, what do? Do you stick with the King James based on late manuscripts, or do you go with the earlier manuscripts? That's the question. Guess what? Some people say, okay, if no manuscript before the 9th century has this and no earlier manuscripts have it, we think this is something that got added as a note in someone's manuscript and something, and then someone else went ahead and included it in their manuscript and so on. So, yeah, it's the AP. If you go to Gail Riplinger's book, it's people are deliberately taking these verses out to distort Christian theology and stuff. And it's not because the earliest manuscripts don't have that. It's people are trying to alter the Bible because of the New Age and stuff. And so it's made by someone who either knows nothing about textual criticism or someone who does know textual criticism and is just lying. So take your pick.
But she said that God wrote her book, so
yeah. So yeah. So for any problems, just blame God for that.
How can you argue with that? Agbelman, David, please watch the new Whatever pod called Andrew Confronts Brian's Former Employee.
What?
Andrew, please watch the new Whatever podcast called Andrew Confronts Brian's Former Employee. Now he suddenly understands when the shoe's in the other foot. Hypocrite.
Who's Brian's former employee?
I think Brian is the guy who is host of the Whatever podcast.
Is the Whatever podcast the one with like all the OnlyFans girls or something on it?
Yeah, the thing is, I don't want to watch a show where it's just a bunch of boobs in your face and all that. So
Andrew confronts Brian's former employee. What employee? Yeah, I don't know what this is about. Hey, AK Bell Arme. You don't need to post another super chat. I'm looking right now. What are you referring to? I'll look for a comment here if you want to explain a little more. Oh, you said yes, but there's no boobs. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I just went on the channel and looked at the recent Andrew.
You said Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate. I'm having a live stream with Andrew on Tuesday. I should say that. Well, here I am with Andrew Tate. I mean, Andrew Wilson.
I was just going to look at the recent Andrew Wilson appearance on the Whatever Bucket, and all I see is boobs. So, not going on the channel, man. I don't want to look at that channel. I just don't want to look at that channel at all. So.
Hey, hang on. Someone, John Ohm P4L1M says, David Wood, why do people have to send money for their comments to be read? Everything is money. You shouldn't be charging people for just reading their comments. One, not my show. But two, super chats are a way for people in the chat to get their comments recognized. If you just look at the comment, they're coming like they're just flying down, right? You can't read all of them. You can kind of read them like in sections and stuff like that. But when you send a super chat, it goes into its own separate thing. Like if on your software, whether it's StreamYard or Ecamm, all of a sudden you have your super chats all listed here. And so they're people who are trying to draw attention to their comments. What is your problem with that?
This is the funny thing. It's always very easy to judge when you're sitting over there and watching. I mean, come here and do it your way. In the beginnings, when I started live streaming, I thought I don't want to just read super chats. I want to read just chats from everybody. So I tried to do that for a while. I would just highlight regular chats and read them. Then the super chats started getting more and more and more and more and more. And then the complaints started, which is that spending money and doing this, and you're just reading different chats. People started complaining about that. But I still wanted to do it, and I occasionally still do it. I said do. As you can see, even on this live stream, I highlighted several non-super chats and just read them and responded to them. But the thing is, it's more and more difficult.
I just read that person's comment. Why? Because I looked at the just chat and I saw it there. Which
the thing is, it gets more and more difficult because suddenly you have like tons of super chats come in. So you want to read all kinds of chats, but you don't want to miss or don't want to not read a super chat that people have actually paid for.
Yeah, those are people who are actually supporting your channel.
And you appreciate that people are actually doing that and sending messages.
You definitely do.
Yeah. Unique Pets in Denmark planning to ban Adhan from mosques base. I saw that too. I haven't looked into the story yet because these days I'm just every day going out and moving, settling in, doing stuff here. Moving is always a very complicated issue. I have been moving for a month now. But yeah. What?
Canyon, you know that Canyon Mims dork?
Who?
I just got a notification because I had replied to it. Canyon Mims, he's a Muslim who keeps posting. Then you're lucky you're not getting his. His posts keep appearing in my feed because I respond to a bunch of the young dumb Dawa guys and stuff like that, and he's definitely one of them. But he posted, "Islam allows child marriage. No, it does not," in all caps. And so I posted by quoting. I posted screenshots of some Muslim hadiths and so on, but he just got community noted. That's hilarious. He's community noted. The community note says, classical Islamic jurisprudence and primary sources permit child marriage. Sahih al-Bukhari 5133, that's the one I put on the screen, states Prophet Muhammad married Aisha at age 6 and consummated it as 9. And they have a link to Sahih al-Bukhari 5133. And then it says, Quran 65:4 also outlines waiting periods for prepubescent divorcees. And it links to the commentary on Surah 65, verse 4. These are awesome times, guys. These are really awesome times.
Base times. Kosan Kosan, basically just avoiding Bibles that are labeled as sectarian. This includes the Passion version, and make sure you know if you're reading a paraphrase. Funny. It got added in a footnote, like Ibn Footnote. Nice. Did you see Myron get schooled by Nick Matau? I want to have a look at that. I watched one part of it, where
I could have told you that because I mean I haven't seen any of that, but I've seen Myron before and I've seen Nick before, and Nick would absolutely massacre Myron.
And Myron was doing this thing at some point. He was saying that he was saying that Israel destroyed all hospitals in Gaza except one. And Nick is like, "What? Where are you even getting this from? They didn't destroy most hospitals. Most hospitals are they're still standing. It's just that many of them have become are not operating at full level because people have gone to different places and all that. And then Myron is like, yeah, okay. So when I meant this, when I said destroyed, what I meant is that many of them were destroyed and many of them are not operating anymore. Okay, but that's not what you said. You said all were destroyed except one. So it's a massacre as it seems. I haven't looked at it all, but it would be very, very nicely worth looking at. Myron is it's quite funny. He's like one of those intellectual midgets who pretend to be very smart, and he is hailed as a smart guy by midgets. How else can I pass to David with Mike Winger references other than sending a super chat? This is true, Jack Ray. Very based.
Good point. See? That guy gets it.
We're funding the Grand Dawoodian Zionist movement. All money goes straight to the IDF. Yeah, not entirely true. I have to give half of the money that you sent me in super chats I sent to the IDF. The other I sent to the Mossad. And then they give me like 10% of it all. Jesus loves you so much says, to be fair, you never read my Sam chat out loud. This is true, I haven't. I didn't want to read it. I apologize. Jay Dyer and Muslim situation. He suddenly takes your position that people shouldn't side with opposition. Nice. At least he does one thing right. Baz the Dark Horse. I purchased a new knife sharpening kit. It came with a leather strap. I'm glad I am not a Muslim. I'll keep it for its original intended purpose.
It's for the anus.
AP doesn't even read super chats sometimes. I try to read every single one of them, but sometimes I don't. This is true. I didn't go to church this morning because my wife and kids are all sick. They make me sick. I make me sick. We're all sick together. You can't have gone to, well, today is Saturday, so that doesn't make sense. You still have Sunday remaining. You can just go to church on Sunday. Because in every reasonable part of the world, it is still Saturday. Speedrunner. Regarding 1928. 1. Does anyone argue for Bible being corruption? 2. It seems that it is too stupid, even for the real Mo, to have made such a mistake. David, what say ye? It's a one-word response to this.
I don't know what this is saying. Does anyone argue for Bible being corruption? Yes, Muslims do. And lots of people don't know what they're talking about too. It seems that this is too stupid even for real Mo to have made such a mistake. Well, Mo had almost no clue about the actual contents because he couldn't read it.
That was more than one word, but okay. Zane John Ohm, gnash your teeth at the super chat. Based.
In your face, John Ohm.
Don't make super chats. People will get angry if you make super
chats. We will never read another one of your comments until you post a super chat.
Anyway, I want to look at a little bit more of Piers Morgan.
Yeah, well, I think it's more that there was, certainly in the UK, a fear.
Look at this. I searched for the video because I was told there are no boobs on the video.
I see multiple boobs there.
Yeah, running through authority, that if they were
you said multiple
specific about who have been perpetrating these hideous crimes as part of these grooming rape gangs, then it would cause enormous unrest, when of course it's caused a lot more unrest by trying to cover it up. And this happened at all stages of British establishment and authority. And I think, honestly, it was disgraceful. On that, I completely agree with Robinson.
I couldn't pay attention to what they're talking about. I'm sorry, I completely missed it. But I hope everybody else got it. Yeah.
But I don't like the leap many take, including Robinson, that the whole problem is purely Muslim, purely Islam. It's a religion.
Who says that?
I'm very sure if you ask Tommy Robinson if he thinks that the whole problem is purely all about Islam and Muslims, he would say, no, of course not. Of course not.
Yeah.
But I grew up in Newton.
It's called a straw man, Pierce. I disagree with the people who say that no one except Muslims has ever done anything wrong at all in any way in this country. I'm just against that. Are you for that? Stupid dork.
If you asked Tommy, he would say, of course not. Of course no Muslim. Of course, all people probably do.
Yeah. Of course, other people do.
But I grew up in Newton. I grew up in Newton. Now, I'll give you an example.
Back when I was in Newton, yeah, we did some crimes back in Newton, yeah. See, it doesn't mean that we're dismissing it all, yeah.
because I just don't think that is true.
I love Tommy Robinson.
Look,
Call him out for straw man, man.
Weinstein was Jewish. Harvey Weinstein
Yeah.
is Jewish, but they didn't commit those crimes invoking specific tenets of Judaism to justify their.
Thank you. Allahu
Boom.
Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Ed
Thank
said
you.
is a very, very clear thinker talking to a
Allahu
very, very
Akbar.
sloppy thinker.
Allahu Akbar. Thank you for this
A
point.
lot of snack
debauchery. Many of the Pakistani Muslim men who were grooming and raping those little girls used the pretext of their religion to then argue, look, those girls are najis, they're impure. If we have at it with them, that
Now,
is
hang on.
perfectly reasonable within
Hang
our
on.
religion.
Are you saying that,
It's
that
not
every
about-
single Muslim who believes these things will do this?
You know,
No, I happen to know many Muslims who don't believe this at all, and they don't do
No.
this. And so you're completely
majority
wrong.
of Muslims do not interpret the Quran to mean that kind
How
of
did I know? He'd go, how did I know?
Dude, literally every single conversation with this guy is completely pointless. I just remembered why I stopped watching Piers Morgan videos.
Yeah.
No matter what you
Piers.
tell him.
Pierce, let me break this down for you for the 487th time, because this is every time anyone brings anything up from the Muslim source and you go, but there are Muslims who don't interpret it that way. We're not talking about how your nice Muslim friend interprets the Quran if he's ever even read it. We're talking about what the sources say. And they do say, well, exactly what he said. The
Hang on,
unbelievers
hang
are
on.
najis. It's Surah 9, verse 28. They're najis. They're filthy. There's something disgusting.
Hang on. I get your point, David. But
You want more?
that's-
You want more? Surah 3, verse 110. Muslims are the best of
Hang
peoples
on.
ever raised up from
Hang
mankind.
on.
Surah
Hang
98,
on.
verse 6. Jews and Christians and other non-Muslims are the
Hang
worst
on.
of creatures.
hang
It
on,
doesn't
hang on,
matter
David.
if you could have your great Muslim
Hang
friend who
on.
says, no, we're all equal in every way. It doesn't affect what the sources say. And here's the thing, Pierce.
Hang on.
Islam is not, has never been, and never will be defined by your Muslim friend. It's
Hang on.
defined by what's in the sources.
Hang on.
Genius, which is what we're quoting, and you don't believe they exist for some
but
reason.
David, I understand your point. But hang on. What about most Muslims? Because most Muslims in the world, the vast majority of Muslims, they don't interpret the Quran in that way, and so most Muslims do not commit those crimes. So what do you say about that?
Pierce, a 3-day-old pigeon can understand what I just
We're not
said.
talking to a 3-year-old pigeon.
Are you a 2-day-old pigeon who doesn't have the intellectual capabilities of a 3-day-old pigeon yet, Pierce? Should I wait
Okay.
until tomorrow so you can be a 3-day-old pigeon and can actually understand this? How can a very rich guy who does nothing but supposedly explore these ideas on his channel, how does he not have the brain power of a 3-day-old pigeon? Explain that, Pierce. That's all I would say.
Hang on. I understand your point, David, but most Muslims around the world, they don't commit these crimes.
3-day-old pigeon talk.
But most pigeons are not 3-year-old, David. So what do you say about that?
Good point. I hadn't thought about
I would say there's no difference. If you're a victim of Harvey Weinstein or Jeffrey Epstein or these appalling grooming gangs in the north of England, you're a victim. And it doesn't matter to me if they've used or invoked their interpretation of religious tracts, which many people of their own religion think the complete opposite. I just don't like the all.
Have you ever seen a trend of Christian or Jewish groups and people in masses in the thousands invoking their own texts and their own interpretations of what they think of the outsiders and then form crime gangs based on that and abuse little children? Have you seen something like that? Can people point me at that happening among Christians? Can people point me at that happening among Jews? Can people point me toward that happening among Hindus, among Sikhs, among the others? Can people point me toward that so I can see it and observe it and assess it? Because we see it among Muslims all the time. But hang on. I understand, but hang on. Most Muslims don't do these things.
Encompassing Islam is the problem because we've got 5 million.
Islam is the problem, you 3-year-old pigeon. Okay, anything else, David? I'm so sick of listening to the guy. How did
I was watching Objective Christian's response to Cora.
You don't have to yell into the microphone. So you both believe Acts chapter 8:37, Mark 9:44, 9:46, and 1 John 5:7 shouldn't be in the Bible. How about Matthew 17:21? No, I think the position that people have is that you shouldn't make a point against all Bible translations based on that because you are inspired by somebody who calls herself God. All right. Anything else, David? Hang on. But what about all those who do want to do something else? What do you say about the vast majority of Muslims who don't want to kill people and rape them? Never judge a religion by its heretics. The problem with Islam is the good Muslims are the heretics. This is true. But hang on, Muslims are not heretics. So what are you going to say about that? Anything else, David? There's so much to review. I want to go through so much more stuff, but I also want to leave it at this point. It's probably time to get back to 5-hour videos, 5-hour live streams, inshallah, and also to get back to shorter videos. But until then,
just start with one short regular video, man.
Don't tell me what to do.
Start with that.
Hang on. Muslims don't make short videos. What about that? Hang on. The vast majority of Muslims are perfectly fine and they don't make short videos. So what do you say about that? All right,
I want to try and remake my classic 3 stages of jihad video for maybe Monday or Tuesday.
Hang on. Muslims don't commit jihad. So
seems relevant. When did I post that original 3 stages
hang on,
of
David.
jihad?
Hang on, David. The vast majority of Muslims don't commit jihad crimes.
We're proud of that.
2012, man.
Dude, nobody needs the technicalities of this. You can talk about this later. Speedrunner says, which is easier, finding the wall of Yajuj and Majuj or making Piers Morgan understand per capita and sitting with Mike Winger for an hour? I would say the easiest one would be finding the wall of Yajuj and Majuj and then sitting with Mike Winger. Actually, sitting with Mike Winger would be an honor for any reasonable person in the world. But thank you for the super chat. All right, thanks everybody for watching. As always, have a fantastic day. David, are you going live tomorrow?
Of course, it's Sunday, man.
What are we going to talk about?
What am I, a farmer?
Thank you all. God bless you all. So we're planning on going live tomorrow. Then we're planning on going live on Monday. On Monday, I'll be live on my channel extensively with a guest that I'll have here.
And
tomorrow.
And I'll be live on Tuesday with Andrew Wilson.
Oh, you're going to do the Andrew Wilson thing. That's very, very nice. All right, then. Thanks, you all, for watching. Thank you all for watching. And thank you all for supporting this channel and our mission to the future. I will see you all very, very soon. God bless you all and God bless America.
Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam. Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam. Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.